Hey, guess what? As we're getting, it's a couple days, I think it's 1 day or so before the training, and guess what? I just need to share something quickly with you. Now, there's nothing as annoying as, you go for a presentation and the presenter is boring and people are sleeping and people are standing up and they're getting out and it's just, sometimes I just want to stone those guys, or I just want to tell them, come for world-class speakers so you understand how to engage, okay? So as you're waiting here, I just thought, you know what? You got some wonderful people who are joining an elite club of speakers and trainers. Go and share with them. So in this quick video, as we wait, by the way, I'll go a little bit deeper in this when it comes to the real training, which you're going to be at in a couple of days. But guess what? I thought I could share with you 3 quick ways of how to engage if you're doing any kind of presentations before you join. Because guess what? This training is not just for people who are newbies and they've never done any training. No, it's also for those guys who want to take that game to the next level. You could be a speaker now and you just want to find out something else, or refine or do something, okay? So 3 quick ways. How many? 3 quick ways of how to engage more, okay? So that your audiences enjoy themselves, so that your audiences kind of, get something from you, okay? Number 1, use tag questions. Use what? Tag questions, because tag questions are those questions that you ask and they get a response from the audience. Does that make sense? I'm sure you just said yes, okay? Now guess what? Because it makes sense, you're going to use them, aren't you? Yeah, that's a tag question. Because when you use them and the audience responds, you will feel better and you will enjoy what you're doing, won't you? Okay, those are tag questions, okay? Use tag questions in your questioning so that there's this, it's called passing it back to the audience, Pass it to the audience, they pass it back to you. You pass it to them, they pass it back to you. Then you have this kind of dance with the audience and you're beginning to enjoy yourself, they're enjoying themselves, and then before you know it, they're giving you a standing ovation and they're like, that guy is awesome. Why? Engagement, okay? Number 2, use audience stories, okay? Yes, you have your own story. By the way, in the training, we're going to be sharing with you a little bit deeper in terms of how to use stories and how to use, stories to attract or to go straight to the subconscious mind of the trainers, okay? Now, use stories that relate to the audience, okay? Every time I'm going to do a training, I will find out about my audience. I'll find out who's the funny guy. I'll find out what funny things do they say in this particular industry, okay? For example, all bankers are broke, okay? If you're a banker, I'm very sorry, but then I'll find a story about being broke and getting out of it, okay? Then I will begin to tell the story and I will engage them. Why? Because you want to connect with their heart and their head. Not just the head, but their heart and their head. Nobody wants to be broke. So when you talk about it, it affects their emotions, and emotions are things of the heart, okay? Not just the head, the things of the heart. So use stories where when you're going to do a presentation, sit down and say, what kind of stories can I use, okay? When I'm talking to Karamajong kids or street kids, I use different stories. I use stories for breakdancing, or I use stories for, kids who made it, okay? When I'm talking to high-end people, then I'll use stories for leaders who have made it happen, or leaders of audacity, or world-class speakers like you, okay? So use stories, or use use examples that can relate. And then finally, the third one that I can give you right here is you do what we call audience shares, okay? While you're training or speaking or whatever, you get to that stage, there's a part of your presentation where you must stop and ask the audience to share with their neighbors what they have picked so far, okay? You can't go for an hour and 2 hours and you haven't done an audience share. What's wrong with you, okay? You got to do this stuff. Why? Because you're a world-class speaker who knows that your voice changes everything. So there you go. 3, tag questions, stories, and audience shares. Those 3 will get engagement for you. And guess what? We're going to discuss a lot more when you attend the training later on. I think it is tomorrow. Later on tomorrow or sometime this week, attend the training. You get deep. You go deeper, and you will become the world-class speaker that you ought to be. So until next time, remember that your voice changes everything. See ya.